Hello and welcome to Design and Style, a podcast for designers and by designers. I am one of your co-hosts, Dixie with Dixie Willer Design, and with me, as always, is the beautiful, effervescent
Rachel with Rachel Moriarty Interiors.
And we wanted to say that the Design and Style podcast is brought to you by the Visibility Lab. The Visibility Lab is the only membership group that focuses on the latest strategies and tools to help you get more visible while showcasing your specific brilliance. We've got weekly online office hours with both of us, monthly topics, in-depth worksheets, and exclusive monthly trainings. I'm so excited today.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. We had so much fun. We could have gone on forever talking to our design bestie, Ms. Veronica Solomon. Oops, I call her V Sol, so I stopped at Sol. Veronica Solomon.
She is fabulous. She's just an amazing designer. She is so visible. She has a fabulous group that does wonderful things for other designers. And let's just talk for a second about that showroom.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Swoon.
Yeah.
Swoon.
Amazing.
We are going to definitely put her, she did a blog post about the showroom. We'll put that in the show notes. So
because you're going to want to see those pictures.
Yes.
So let's start with just a little bit of information about Miss Veronica. Veronica Solomon is an award-winning interior designer whose work has been featured in numerous publications, including the ASID Texas Gulf Coast Chapter Magazine, Houston House and Home Magazine, Katie Magazine, and national blogs such as Apartment Therapy. Veronica has established herself as one of Katie and West Houston's most highly acclaimed interior designers and lifestyle experts. Over her almost 11-year career as the CEO and creative director of Casa Valora Interiors, she's created unique and memorable interiors for a wide variety of residential, home building, and commercial clients.
So Veronica, we just introduced you in the intro of the show. And we just want to welcome you, and we're so excited to have you back. You are our first guest, and hopefully you're going to be our reoccurring guest because you always have something fun going on.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I do, and I'm so happy to be back. Thank you guys for having me come back.
Awesome. So the biggest news, let's start with the biggest news, the big elephant in the room, which is like you're sitting in, is your new showroom. Tell us about what the decision was to do it, the why, and give us some of the background.
Well, so I've always wanted a showroom, and actually I did that before. A lot of people don't know that. So I did that before. It didn't go off as well as this one did. And I've always kind of had a little studio space that's separate from my home and where my clients could come. And I just decided it was time to upgrade a little bit and just have a bigger, more open space where I could meet my clients here and kind of showcase some of my work. And I wanted to showcase things that clients don't always necessarily let you do in their homes. So bold color mix and patterns all over the place, textures, and I wanted people to come in and see that, oh, if she can mix color like this or patterns like this, imagine what she could do if I wanted, something monochromatic in my house. So this was kind of like my idea studio and a place where people can just kind of come and get a taste of my style. And of course, I can do anything custom for people, but the studio is all about me. It's really all about everything in here is things that I love, mixing patterns, like I said, and texture and stuff. So the studio is just a showcase of the work that I love.
It's almost like the ultimate visibility when it comes to showing your work. I mean, it surrounds you in a big way, and everybody can come in and see exactly what it is that you can do.
Yeah, absolutely. It's, showing your work online, obviously you need to do that. But yes, people come in here now and they can kind of see this 3D of your work, and they can touch and feel and ask you questions. What inspired you to do this? Or why would you put this with that? And where did you get this? I had a lady come in yesterday and she was checking out my porcupine quills, which is a prized possession. I mean, I don't know what it is. I mean, of everything in here, I just love that. And she was asking about it, and it just like opened up conversation. And, we were just kind of talking about the unique things that I could bring to her home. And, she may go book an appointment because of something like that. So it's nice to have that way to feature your work and the visibility that comes with it.
Well, the one thing as a devotee, as a follower of Veronica Solomon and Casa Valora Interiors, what I loved about this showroom is one of the things you really don't ever show in your work, and I've been following forever, is kitchens and baths.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was really, really great to see what a Veronica Solomon kitchen would look like and a Veronica Solomon bathroom would look like, which is like, your bathroom's hella sexy. Let me just say that.
Thank you.
And I mean, from the black paint and the brass, vanity and it's a snake artwork, right?
Yes.
Snake and with the emerald, and I mean, it's just beautiful. And everything that you did is absolutely beautiful. So that to me was just, for somebody that's been following you for so long, it was great to see you step into some of these areas that,
Mm-hmm.
Not that I didn't know you did them, but it was never a big feature. On top of that, let's talk about your new photographer. Hello.
Oh, wow. That girl just knocked it out of the park for me. She came to me from another designer that's in my group, and I saw her work, and I said, who does your photography? She's here in Houston as well. And I said, who does your photography? And she gave me the name, and I'll tell the name. Her name is Colleen Scott. And I called her up. She lives in Beaumont, which is a couple hours away from me, actually. So it's a trek for her to come over here. And I was just like, I have to have you come shoot my studio when it's all done. This was back in maybe November when it wasn't even close to being finished. And she was like, sure, just let me know when you're ready. And she came over, and when you look at her portfolio, she does mainly those subdued types of stuff that you see a lot of designers do. And so it was kind of almost a shock for her when she walked in. It was like, oh, there's a lot of color, and she loved it, but it was you could tell it was different from what she's done before. And she just I didn't have to give her a whole lot of direction. She just knew what to do. And that's perfect for me, because I'm not really good at the photography part of it. Like, make sure you catch this. I know, like, Rachel, I know you're excellent at that. I just don't even know what looks good. And she's showing me stuff, and I'm like, I don't know. Just shoot it. And then I'll pick one, right? And she just completely took charge, got all the angles I wanted. So pleased with it. And she shot one more project for me, so she's gonna be my go-to gal for
Was
now.
it your commercial project that she did as well?
So.
I mean, I don't think there's anybody I've ever reached out to and said your photography is like blowing me away, know?
Stunning. And I know I've said that word, but stunning.
Yes. So I got a message from Rachel. I was like, thank you, girl. And I almost didn't shoot that project. Can I tell you that? I almost didn't shoot that project. Well, that project ended up being, because we started out, these are clients that I actually did their whole house earlier last year. And they opened this commercial space, and they hired me just to do the reception area. And of course, through my skills of upselling, we ended up doing the whole space. And so, some of it was like scope creep that was happening pretty much along the way. And so some of it was finished, and some wasn't even finished by the time we were doing photographs. But I really wanted to get in there and get photographs done before people started to mess up my stuff, And so we were just going to shoot the reception area. After all, I decided, okay, let's just at least do the reception area and then forget it. But since she was already there, I'm like, just go ahead and shoot these other little areas, whatever angles you can capture. Oh my goodness. I looked at those pictures and I'm like, that is just amazing. So yeah, I'm very, very pleased with her, and I would highly recommend her.
Oh my gosh, she's amazing. Yeah, just that project. I mean, it just shows you that even a commercial, very simple, I wouldn't even say it's like your typical Veronica Solomon. Of course, you added in color, but because it's a commercial space, it wasn't that like super layered, but it was just so simply done. And I think for me, it just, again, by you sharing your work, it was like, okay, and now I know Veronica can do kitchens and bath. Now I know Veronica can do commercial, and it's just amazing the way that you share your finished products. And I mean, I love them when you do it. I'm waiting for you. I'm like just love it. You're so good about sharing that.
You guys have inspired me in a big, big way, whether you realize this or not. I mean, because as far as visibility goes, because I really, really strongly believe in what you're doing, because that was a game changer for me a few years ago when I thought that, oh, maybe this is not good enough. I'm not sure. other designers' work might be better than mine. And I was kind of holding my work back. And then I decided, you know what, I'm going to celebrate what I've done here. It's my art. I had a good time doing it. I put a lot of hard work and effort into this, so the world needs to see my work. And so I started putting it out there, and it's just brought things to me, like projects in. Even this commercial project, I've gotten so many messages behind this. I got one from you, like I said, and I got a couple other people. They're asking me about products in most cases, but it's creating a buzz. And a lot of people didn't even know that I did small commercial stuff. So that's why it's good to showcase your work, because that one person out there might be looking for something that you didn't even realize that you are hitting with just showing your work. So it's been wonderful.
You know what it's done for me is it's created an excitement, the whole visibility journey. And you might feel this way too, where it's like, it's almost an expectancy of like, what awesome thing is going to happen today as a result. Like yesterday, Dixie and I had just like our Monday morning meeting, whatever. And as I'm on it, I look in my phone and I have a direct message, and it's like to do an editor of a magazine's office.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? And it's going to be featured and all. And so it's just
wow.
I was like, you know, and I'm like literally on a call with her, and I like look in my, you know, a result of being visible, not me going out pitching. I don't even, you know, it's not even like, it's just crazy. I don't even know how. I always tell my husband, I don't know how the internet works. I don't know how people even know I have a pulse. I'm just sitting here in my house. Like, how do people even know? You know, so it really is every day. It's something new and unexpected.
Right.
And that's like you, like all of a sudden, you know, you don't even know, like maybe you don't even know, is my photography good? Was my project good?
Right.
If you don't put it out there and start, you know, having your cheerleaders and your design besties reaching out to you saying, oh my gosh, like I can see the leaps that you have done, you know, from you and I were just sharing about our 2014 websites.
I know, isn't that funny? Did you see that, Dixie? We had the same website template, you know, in 2014.
Oh.
And it was just so funny to me how far we've come, because I've checked out your website too, and I'm like, this girl has come such a long way, you know. And people might think it's in a short time frame, but let me tell you, I mean, I'm sure for
Lord,
you,
no.
like years in the making, right?
Yeah.
And, but yeah, and the other thing I'll add to that is like showing progress of your work as well too. Because a lot of times we don't want to do that because we think, oh, it's ugly at this point, it's not finished. It's so important to me and my followers and fans. They look for that. If I don't post something for a while, they wonder if I'm dead.
Yeah.
And so I kind of have to let people know I'm still alive, you know, so I have to keep putting those up there. But the progress shots, I mean, when I was doing a studio, for example, and I was doing the regular videos, and a lot of times I'm like, it feels like I'm showing off, and people like think I'm like, you know, and then I'm like, well, no, this is bringing business my way. This is bringing credibility my way, and people are seeing the layers and how it's developing over time. And to them, that's the most exciting part, is seeing something go from nothing and progressing to this beautiful finish.
Well, and two, I like it because they get to see the dirty, messy part. So it doesn't come as a shock when they have to go through that dirty, messy part.
Right, exactly. And they understand that it's not this glamorous thing. Yes, we like to look glamorous, I'm sure. But it's work. It's actual work behind the scenes. And that's why we can ask the fees that we ask, because people see what we actually do. Yep. And so that's become big for me. It's going to really showcase in the progress.
Dixie, take a lesson from Veronica. She doesn't listen to me. She doesn't listen to me. But you know what would have been a great shot? I mean, Dixie gets 5 figures just to do plan reviews, just to look over architects' reviews. You know, Dixie isn't in the forefront where putting pillows on things, and you know what I mean.
Right.
So, but I would have loved to have seen Dixie, you with, you know, this week she had one, and she had Sharpies all over her hands, and you know, she had the vellum over
on the scratch
her circle, you know, like those. Dixie, I'm going to encourage you to start showing that kind of stuff, because she that's where she works, in that beginning part, in the plan review and construction. she doesn't get the pretty flowers on the table, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Those
Which is the
things.
part me and you love, right?
Yes, yes, exactly. But Dixie, when you told me that you had Sharpie all over, I was thinking like, in my mind, of course, I go to like, how would I show? Like, I would be like, you know,
Yeah, and especially with a new hairstyle, girl, you need to get on
right?
video and
Yes,
show that, make it sexy. Show yourself like
yes,
redlining some plans and
yes.
you know, make it look like that because you got it, girl. And it's what you do, and I mean,
It's what she
you do is
does.
so important because guess what? Without what you do, me and Rachel don't get.
It doesn't get to the point where I know. I was telling her I'm working on this house and it's all framed out, and you know, it's got like the drywall all stacked, and you know, and I walked in and I'm just doing fixtures and finishings on it, but I was like, this is what like where Dixie stops, you know, and it's so funny how we just want to become, we keep going, how can we do this? How can we do this? How can we do a design firm together? You know, because we literally do the whole gamut, but it's just like.
You guys are such it's like you found each other. Like, it was like magnet, right? It's so amazing that it's kind of like where she stops, you start, and that's amazing. You guys.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah, I know. It's so weird. So. Definitely that's going to be, and I was just telling Dixie, wasn't I was like, I have to figure out a way to show this framed out home and show the finishes, and you know what I mean, because I won't have really a whole project. Hopefully I'll be able to go in and photograph it at some point, but who knows, you know, I might not. So I have to figure out a way to get visible in that way too. So
milk it is what I say.
That's right. So you had a couple little bumps along the way with your show. We want to hear the dirt. Like,
well, yeah, but you know,
give the dirt. Give it.
Right?
I know.
I'm sure you're familiar with some of that, Dixie. But you know, any kind of construction, you're gonna run into issues. You're gonna run into problems. You know, you failed inspection because your electrician didn't put it. Get what you needed to get for the permits for the plugs he put in, just things like that. It did honestly take a lot more effort than I thought. I envisioned this beautiful space and I was in utopia and I did not realize that there was actual work behind it, right? And getting up every day, coming over here and checking on things and just making sure people are where they're supposed to be. And of course the costs involved, this is not like cheap to do either. So, you set a budget and then you blow that budget and then you set another budget and then you blow that one. So it's like, okay, when does this end? So, and then when I was preparing for this grand opening in December, and so like literally 2 days before the grand opening, I was still like getting stuff together. And at one point I had to be like, okay, this is just not going to happen before the grand opening. People will have to come in here and look beyond that. And to this day, some of the stuff are still not in here because I didn't move I don't have all my fabrics over here still. And, because I'm so close, I can kind of run back and forth. But yeah, there were hiccups along the way, absolutely. But that was what made the experience even better for me. That's what I was so in it. My hands were in it. And standing back and looking at it now, I can say, okay, yeah, that was a problem, but look at it now. That was crazy, but look at it now. So you want those experiences along the way too.
When I saw that expensive marble tile go in the closet, did you see what one of her contractors put?
Yes. Oh my God. So let me tell that story. So, so he estimated, I had him come in and estimate, little powder room. It's probably like, 5 by 6, we're just doing a tile in here. He doesn't speak a whole lot of English. And, he told me the amount to purchase. I'm like, kind of sounds like it's too much, but maybe it's the pattern, So went out and purchased it, came in to check on the job one day. He actually put the tile in a storage closet, this expensive marble tile in a storage closet, and ran out by the time he got to the actual room the tile was meant for. So of course that meant going back out and spending more money, getting the, what else I needed. So that was a very expensive lesson, and probably won't be repeated again, Yeah.
Oh my gosh. When I saw that, my heart broke a little bit. But
yeah.
I
have a very pretty store.
You sure do. You'd be like, let me just show this. You're like Pinterest style showroom. Like we just might as well run with this.
I know.
No, I loved your attitude about it, though, the whole thing, you
Mhm.
know. I mean, there were like people going, well, what about that pipe under your
Yeah,
vanity? Or,
yeah.
you know, just like, and you're like, don't worry. It's almost like with our clients, like, I'm not done. Did you see me take the photographs yet?
I
I'm not
know.
done yet. It's still in progress. Like, I'll work that out, you
Oh
know.
my gosh. Yeah, that was a thing. I mean, I literally was going to go out and spend a ton more money to kind of hide that pipe under the vanity. And I'm like thinking, this is still a powder room
Yeah,
where probably it's just me and
yeah,
whoever I employ is
yeah.
going to see. Probably we may not have people go in there. There's a thing called Photoshop. We can just Photoshop that out,
Yes,
right?
yes,
And
exactly.
so I just painted it out in black where it
Yeah,
kind of blends in with the
you can
wall. And I
barely
told the
see it.
photographer, just Photoshop that out when you take the pictures.
Yeah,
And it's not there now. I mean,
yeah,
it's still there physically, but not in the pictures. So
right.
perfect.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So fun. It's been such a fun journey to follow.
Thank you.
So let me tell you, we need to talk about something, Veronica Solomon.
Okay.
We need to talk about some profits, the
Uh-huh.
word profit. And we need to talk about the marriage of visibility and profit. So you were talking about you're showing your work, you're getting work from it, right? I don't think that people understand that. Like sometimes we will still have people ask us, so how
Mhm.
does visibility like turn into business? And it's like, how does it not?
Oh,
How does
exactly.
it not?
I
You
mean,
know?
like I always say, you cannot be a designer under a rock in Timbuktu and expect people to find you. They're just not gonna go look for you. And so you literally have to be in their faces in a good way. That's why your work has to like represent you and what you're trying to communicate to the world. And it translates literally into profits, into money. And of course, it goes in hand with, charging what you're worth and making sure you're, adding your margins onto the products that you sell in order to be profitable, because I realize that designers hesitate when it comes to that for some reason, because the confidence isn't there. They don't realize that this is actually a job where you can make money and it's okay to make money. And so they kind of hold back in such a big way, and it affects their profits at the end of the year. And I struggled for way too long to make that be a thing anymore in my life. Now I'm just like, I don't care who wants to see my work, I'm going to put it out there. Close your eyes if you don't want to see it. Of course, it's well received. People actually enjoy seeing my work, and I'm not the best designer out there by any stretch of the imagination, but I have an audience. There are people who actually appreciate what I do. And so that's how you need to look at it. You may be talking to just one person out there, but that one person could be your biggest cheerleader. And I cannot tell you how often I've seen my work get shared and tagged in a group, or that type of stuff where I'm in a mom's group here in my local. I don't even live in that community. I'm not even supposed to be in the group, by the way. And I had a few clients out there, and somebody added me to the group, and I need a designer to do this, tag like 3-4 times my name, and I'm like, yes. Some of it leads to work, some of it doesn't, but the point is, if I wasn't showcasing my work and putting myself out there, nobody would know about me. And you have to be your biggest cheerleader. Self-promoting, there's nothing wrong with that, because we were raised to think, oh, just be humble and don't be showy. Be showy. If you want to make money, you have to be showy, right?
Do
So
you
that's
think
my thing.
Do you think that, I kind of feel this way, but showing your work, if people don't like it, it kind of just weeds them out before you have to deal with them?
Ah, perfect. So well said. That's absolutely true. Because not everybody's going to love your work and like thinking, oh my gosh, this is a designer for me. But when they find you and you're the designer, they absolutely want to work. There's nobody else they want to work with. In fact, I got an email last week from a lady that I actually responded to yesterday because I was out of town. And she was just like, she saw my work, she loves my work, and she wants me to come in, and this is all she needs. She doesn't really need a full design plan or whatever. She just needs my help pulling stuff together. She had hired another designer in the past, and she just didn't get what she needed from that. And she just wants to find a way to work with me because, I'm the person she wants to work with. It's almost like she was just like dropping it on my lap. It's yours to lose at this point, And that is because I made an effort to show my work and make sure my website showcases things that I want people to see. Because, I have a lot more work that's not on my website. I have a lot of stuff that I probably should take down now, but a lot of my work isn't there. But I have, because I like arrange, as Rachel probably know this, I like to do different styles. And I'm sure you know that too, Dixie. And so I like my website to illustrate different styles and different combinations or whatever, what I love to do. And that's what she fell in love with something on there. And, that's what pulled her in.
Well, I will say I even had someone hire me recently, and they didn't talk to any other designers.
Right.
They said,
Right.
we looked at your website, we saw your copy. They chatted with
From
me
your
once, and that was
copy,
it.
from the copy
Yeah.
on her website.
Most of my clients don't interview other clients. So when I hear other designers talk about getting shopped and let me tell you this, I'm not ever downplaying what other people are trying to do and the efforts that they're putting into, because you have to start somewhere. Because there were days when I was, back when I first started, people were like comparing me to 6 other designers before they called me. And that's okay, because if that's the level you are at right now, you obviously build yourself up to the point where when most of my clients come to me, they haven't looked at anybody else. They just know that I'm the person they want to work with. They've already read my copy, like you mentioned. That has to be something that pulls them in as well. So not just the pictures, you have to be saying the right words. And for me, one of the biggest things that has worked for me and changed the game for me is my prices on my website. And I know a lot of people, there's been some debate in the industry about that, and it's okay. I mean, it's not for everybody, so that's not what I'm saying. But for me, that was like, my phone doesn't ring for crazy stuff anymore. Like, I don't ever get that call like, how much do you charge for that? Like, people who come to me now, they're ready to work with me. They are ready to listen to me, which is so important. And sometimes they pay without even calling me. And then I call them and say, okay, let's get to work. So it's done so much for me in order, just setting up my website the way I felt like my clients would respond to it. And that's why it's so important to know who you're trying to talk to, who you're trying to get in front of, because then you craft your website to speak to those people. So that's worked beautifully for me.
Let me tell you something that you are the master of that you have no idea that you're the master of. Excuse me. Sorry, Hannah. I'm like, what is going on with my throat right now?
I'm gonna sip some water too.
I know. Is SEO. Like, I know you probably do know you're the master of, but I cannot remember one day I don't know if I was blog posting or whatever, and I was researching. Dixie, I can't remember, because I remember telling you that Veronica Solomon keeps showing up on every Google search. Whatever, I wish I could remember what I was researching online for, but your blog kept
Was it
coming up.
painkillers? I don't remember. I think it was a couple of different things, because she said every time I search for something, Veronica is popping up.
Well, thanks for telling me that, because I mean, it's one of those things that you think you struggle at, and then you realize if you just kind of follow this little formula that they've given you, or you just watch a couple of videos, you can actually kind of get right. And just don't be overwhelmed. I hear people say, I'm so overwhelmed. Well, just don't go into it with that attitude, and you probably won't be. Just go and know that whatever is supposed to stick in that time frame that you're spending, it will stick, okay? Especially if it's something that's important to you. Like for me, I get the webmaster tools thing, do my analytics, and I do a little bit of AdWords too, and that was layers, and it took time. I didn't just go in there and like start spending $500 a month on AdWords, but over time I was able to afford that. But it's so important that you at least do something, and that's
oh my gosh,
us, we love our Wix websites.
We're so team Wix.
Because it was so easy for me to do it on that platform. It literally walks you through, okay, if you do this, this is what happens. It walks you through that. And so all you have to do is kind of get that app that they have linked with their platform. And, it's been 3-4 years since I realized, because I said 5-6 years yesterday, and realized it's only 3 or 4 years. I thought I had that website much longer than that. But, and I've consistently been on Google front page since I've been doing that. So don't be overwhelmed. Just do little bits, whatever you can do, whenever you can do it, and build up to it. Because guess what? When you get more work coming in because your SEO is improved, then you can afford to pay for some AdWords and get in front of more people.
Yeah. So the other day, I'm doing this beach house, and the woman called me up, and she was right at the end of our conversation. We just had this little kind of discovery call thing, and then set an appointment. And she was telling me how she was so intimidated to call. She said, you don't understand, this is a little beach house, and I was so intimidated to call a decorator and I was like, oh my gosh,
Mm.
like, I'm not that, like, you know what I mean? You don't need to be intimidated
Yeah,
with me.
right.
And I feel that being visible as well as your work,
Mm-hmm.
if you show up and you do your videos and you know, just show up, they can get a complete vibe, whether it's your blog
Mm-hmm.
post
Right.
or whatever. Also, and it just calms, if you know, I realized how scary it was for her to make that phone call.
Right.
And now how grateful she is just to have busy family, our typical
Mm-hmm.
kind of client, and how grateful she is. Even Dixie the other day, like, her client was like, this is the best money I ever spent. Like, the
Mm-hmm.
peace of mind that we provide our clients
Yeah.
is incredible. So if you can even look at it as, if you think about those words and how meaningful it is and how we can affect people's lives and lifestyle and help them sleep at night,
Mm-hmm.
really, like
Right.
knowing that this whole thing's going to come together in a beautiful way. If you don't get visible, you're almost holding those gifts back from
Right.
others.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And that's why I love that you do those videos. And I've always said I need to do more video because people really get a sense of who you are and know that, it's not as intimidating as I thought. She seems like somebody I could sit in the room and have a conversation with. And I get that too. People, you go to their homes and the first thing they're like, oh, apologizing for this. Oh my gosh, my house is a mess. And when they realize that, yeah, I'm not this, big shot designer who's going to come in here and kind of judge your house. My job is to help you live better. So kind of leave all the mess and let me come see the mess, because then I'll know that, okay, she needs more storage in this room, or she needs to move this into whatever it is. I can solve your problem if I can see your mess, right? That's my job. And so, but people get such a good sense of you when you put yourself out there and you're visible and you show a little bit of your personality and kind of show your flaws too. Because for me, I'm like the hands, when I'm talking, my hands are all over the place, and people get to then know that, okay, that's what I'm gonna see when she comes out to my house, right? And I sit down with my clients, and I always, my goal is always set their minds at ease, because this is a difficult thing for them. Number one, this is an unknown thing for them. They have no idea what they're in for. And it's my job to kind of guide them through it from the very beginning. And so it's become almost like a mission to me now when I meet with my clients to let them know that it's okay. I've got your back. Whether you're just doing an e-design or you're doing a full remodel or you just need some advice from me, my goal is to make sure that you get Veronica and you get my full attention because I'm dealing with your project.
So, Veronica,
Mm-hmm.
what's next?
Ooh, what's next? Oh my gosh. So sometimes when
What isn't?
what is it, right? I get a headache sometimes thinking about all the things that I have going on. But I mean, I'm the girl that comes up with ideas, and I have to put those ideas into action. So I always have stuff going on. And
Oh my gosh. I have to like interrupt you, because yesterday you said something and I resonated with it so much. You're like, did you say you call yourself half baked? Because like you'll half bake an idea and then like put it out and just let it kind of like massage it and let it evolve. And I was like, that is so me. Like,
Yeah.
I love that.
Absolutely. I mean, sometimes, you're driving along and this brilliant idea comes up. And first of all, guys, let me give you a tip here. Your little recording device on your phones is your best friend. So if you're not using that, because, I don't have people to talk to in my car all the time. So that's what I talk to, like, oh, idea. Let me record that so I won't forget it, right? And so, I have a few things coming up just based on ideas. Sometimes they take flight, and sometimes it's just like, oh, it's not the right time, or sometimes let's never do that again, right? The studio, I mean, there's a lot coming up for what I have planned for the studio, because my whole goal is this thing needs to pay for itself now. Yes, I sell some products from here, but it's not heavy retail. It's probably only 10% retail. So the rest of it has to be events that I'm going to hold here. So once a month, I'm going to have workshops for consumers where they can come in. And that's where my Savvy Chic comes in. I don't know if you guys see me kind of hinting at that so far. I'm creating a whole community around that where it's for DIYers and decorating enthusiasts. And they're just going to be able to come in and get some of my ideas and just pay a small fee. And I will sit there and teach them some stuff. And so I'm also going to do once a month workshops with other designers, because as you know, I do mentoring as well. And so I'm going to have designers come in and teach them some kind of business thing. And it's going to be something I'm really passionate about, which, as you know, profits is my big passion lately, because I like that. I like making money. And so, and so that's going to happen soon. So I'm probably going to kickstart that in second quarter though. And so that's, other happenings here. I may decide to do other events here. I'm not sure yet, like networking or whatever. And so I'm building a house. I don't know if you guys know that. I'm sure you do. I'm building a house. And so my whole goal for that was to just buy a builder basic house and absolutely no upgrades at all. Just whatever the builder has. And you should see, guys, they have my cabinets already put in, and the ugliest things ever. The countertop is in, ugly as ever. Nothing even matches. But that was the whole point, because I want to go in and really show people how they can take that and turn it into something amazing without spending a ton of money, because I intentionally bought it in an area where it's mostly first-time home buyers. This is my fourth home, but I'm buying amongst first-time home buyers, small house. And I wanted people to realize that you too can have a beautiful home. You don't have to have the luxury budgets. Love my luxury clients and dealing with the big budgets, because that's absolutely amazing. But I also am so passionate about seeing people just take basic stuff and turn it into something fabulous. And if I can help them along, then I want to do that. So that's what the house is all about. And I can't give away everything that I have planned just yet, but you guys will see that evolving a little bit. And I'm going to start kicking up some videos about that pretty soon. It's at the stage now where they just finished drywall and the mud and the texture that they put on there, and about to do trim work and stuff. So I'm thinking I'm going to close on it maybe late February. And then you'll see a little bit more happening there. And yeah, that's kind of the big stuff going on right now, workshops and things coming on. So I'm excited.
So lots of visibility.
Absolutely. Yes. Do you know how hard it is to wait for your house to be done, to get to see all the fabulous things that you're going to do with it? It is killing me.
Yeah, but you know what? This has been such a blessing, because it's a production home. So I'm not highly involved in the process. I just went to pick out my upgrades So I haven't been hands-on with it. In fact, there are 2-3 weeks that go by and I don't go by there to look at anything, because I just didn't have the time to do it. So it's kind of building itself out there, and I just, show up every once in a while and check on things. And that's been good for me. Normally, like I said, I've built 3 houses before that, and I was like, I'm thinking the builders are probably like, just get out of here. I was like super involved. I'm one of those clients that I don't want, too involved in the process. So this one, I'm letting it happen, because I know it's not going to look the same when I'm done with it.
This is going to be great.
Yes.
It really is. I mean, because how many times I don't even think a lot of the times some of the upgrades are great upgrades when you're working with builder stuff, you might as well just let them build it and then go in and do your thing, which I think is exactly what you're doing. So that's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, and I actually had that very conversation with somebody last week, I think. And it was just like, the upgrades that you're paying for aren't even the things that you want anyways, It's just like whatever they had at the design center, and you're actually paying such a premium for it.
I know.
Just do it aftermarket. There are certain things I don't want to do aftermarket. Like I wanted a fireplace. I don't want to go with walls out to put that in. But the finished stuff, absolutely wait till you move in to do that. A lot of people want to put it in their mortgages, I guess, and that's understandable. But for me, I just want to go take it all out and just do it over time. And it's so important too. And I noticed with you, Rachel, especially you have a design lab on your website where you talk about your home and you showcase your home. And it's so important that designers do that. That is such a missed opportunity as well for designers, because believe it or not, clients actually care and they want to know about the way you live, because they use that as a gauge. Okay, this is kind of what's going on in her house. This is probably what she could do for me, or whatever, So it's a missed opportunity if you're going to say things like, I don't know how to make decisions in my house. I don't do anything. That is where you shine. That's where you do stuff that clients won't let you do. That's where you do the black walls and the orange ceilings and the pink carpet, or whatever you do. It's your house, right? Well, if your husband is okay with that, that is. But you want to do that as designers and showcase your work and be visible with your surroundings. My little apartment that I live in, a little one-room apartment right now. And even that, I'm going to do that up. I'm going to throw it up there on the internet and see where it sticks. And House picked that up. House wanted to feature my little one-room apartment. it was featured on House, and I'm just like, that's what we should be doing and showcasing where we live. So missed opportunity if you're not doing that.
Oh my gosh. And the worst is like we evolve too,
Yeah.
so it's like it's my taste. I'm ready to kind of,
Mm-hmm.
but I like to change a lot. So it's, I'm going to go in and redo my house too. And it's a rental. It's my in-laws. We rent from my in-laws. It's an investment home.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go in and redo, but it's also going to be like, how can you redo this without, doing anything major, so it'll be fun. And, I'm excited. I think it's a huge missed opportunity. Like for me, I was really, when I put my pictures up, I was really into the vintage pop-ups. I was doing vintage pop-ups and I had a lot of inventory and I was moving my house around and all that stuff. I'm a little bit in a different place now. So I'm getting ready to like redo just to like have it reflect me now. And, but I think you're right. I mean, you and we've gotten into really passionate conversations about when designers are like, I don't have any work to show. And it's like, where do you put your head at night?
That is something right there,
I was a photo stylist. I'll tell you, when I work on a catalog job, even, last year I worked on catalog jobs. I am going to Home Goods. I'm going here. I'm going there. I'm getting plants at Home Depot, to set it up for a shot that takes 2 minutes and then pull it back down. It's just the way you just got to do what you got to do. Like, I'm sorry, you got to need it, want it.
Yeah, exactly. It's something. And, it pushes your creativity because trust me, when I say this, I don't spend a ton of money doing my own house. Let me tell you, I'm the cheap client. Okay. So when I'm doing my house, I'm like going out in my backyard and cutting like, branches to put in a vase to make it look fabulous. I'm like trying to shop like a bargain shopper does. And it's just the way you put it together. Your creativity comes out, and it's so much more fun too when you're on like a really tight budget. And the one thing that has helped me a little bit to get some of the rooms done in my house is when I did the 1-room challenge. I did that thing like 4 or 5 times.
I didn't do that.
Yeah, I did that. Have you ever done it?
No.
I've done it 4 or 5 times, I think. And it was just, you do your house in 6 weeks and you document it and so on and so forth. And I did like, my son's room was one of the rooms I wanted to do. And that was my opportunity to go crazy in there. And we spent like $3,000 on my son's room. And that was also published, by the way. It was published.
I remember the floors on that one.
Yeah, gosh, I forgot about that. Yeah, so the floors was just my faux painter. I use her a lot, and so we kind of just like worked something out because I always give her work.
Yeah.
Amen. Painted the floors. I did most of the work. She just came in and did the paint part of it. I got my guy that builds my bookcases to come in and build some. You know what I mean? It's just do something and do it unique and we painted. My son had this dresser. He's always had that dresser. We painted it in stripes. I mean, just get hands-on because it's your house, right? So you want to showcase that because like you said, that's where you put your head at night, and people want to see that.
So awesome, Veronica. We're crushing on Veronica? We just swoon over Veronica Solomon.
We don't need to get any work done. Let's just chat.
Let's just stay here all day, right?
No. She's I'll receive this. I'll sit here and receive all the love.
I have a lot of work to do today, so it might be a good escape here.
This might be a perfect place to talk about earning those, getting the work done and earning those profits, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's a good place to talk about that for sure.
Well, thank you so much, Veronica. We always love having you on. And again, we are like huge devotees and we love following you. And we're so excited for 2018. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to see you at the Design Bloggers, right?
Yes, I will be
in March, lady.
Uh-huh.
All right. I'm looking forward to it.
Me too.
Oh my gosh.
How fun was it talking to Miss Veronica Solomon?
I wasn't kidding when I said I could talk to her all day.
I know.
I love her.
I know. We just love her. We're just super fans. I can't wait for our listeners to see we'll put a link in the show notes to her showroom and all of her social, but her showroom is amazing.
It's gorgeous.
And we talked a little offline, and she has some exciting stuff coming up this year. So I'm sure we'll have her on again.
Yep.
She's one of our reoccurring guests. We just love her so much. And I'm so looking forward to seeing her at the Design Bloggers.
I know.
For sure. I know.
Well,
so.
I say that like I get to go, but I'm so excited. I can't wait to see the pictures and the interaction from the two of you.
It's going to be
together.
vicariously through me.
I am. I live vicariously through you a lot these days.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so
if you want to check out the show notes, head over to designandstylepodcast.com. This podcast was made possible in part through the support of our preferred partners, like the Design Network. The Design Network offers one of the most powerful to-the-trade e-commerce programs in the furniture industry, combining the top brands in furniture, the best prices, and unparalleled logistics all in one place. Go to www.thedesignnetwork.com to join the Design Network's Trade Direct program, create your designer profile, connect with new clients, and start shopping today.